instantly I just fell to my knees and I'm like, Lord, that is you. There's no way that was possible. There's no way. Nobody knew about that encounter that I had. And instantly everything changed. That night I got baptized in the Spirit, started receiving my prayer language, and things have just changed drastically from that first week of November to the rest of the school year. Just everything has changed. I'm filled with fire, filled with zeal that I haven't had since I was 15. And I'm just like, whoa, Lord, what's going on? So literally, it just happened to where everything switched, and the Lord's just like, I want you to go here, I want you to go there, different places, different assignments. Words of knowledge started happening, prophetic words started happening, getting to pray with people on the streets and seeing them recover. There have been instances where the Lord's like, hey, I want you to go to Cheddar's. Cheddar's is a restaurant in Dallas, really good food. And the Lord would be like, hey, I want you to go there. And I'm like, why? He's like, I just want to bless you. I'm like, but Lord, I don't got any money. And just having this, verbal conversation with the Lord, he's like, well, don't worry about it. I got you. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go. And taking the risks of, little things like that, just taking the risk and the faith to go out and do that. So I would go, and there's times where I'm like, okay, Lord, I know I don't have any money in my debit card. What am I supposed to do? And the Lord's just like, just order your food, whatever you want. It's on me. I'm like, okay. So I ordered the food, and at this time I was with Chris Paul. We were singing this song by Israel Houghton. It goes, rejoice in the Lord always. And again I'll say, rejoice. Over and over again. We were just singing it because God is just good. I mean, he's hooking everything up. We're just doing it. We're just going around and just, okay, we're just going to take a faith. And we're sitting in Cheddar's. And I kid you not, we were outside on the pavilion, on the patio area, and we're singing this song. This couple comes rolling by. They have about 3 or 4 kids with them, young little kids. And they were just very rude to their kids. They were saying, you need to sit down. You need to sit down or I'm going to deal with you, blah, blah, blah. And we're just sitting there on the other side singing gospel songs. And they're seeing us like we're weirdos. Like, who are these hippies? And we're just ordering the food. The food comes out. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know how you're gonna come through with this, but I know you're good. So hopefully we can eat this food and you can hook it up. And so we started eating the food, and maybe 15, 20 minutes later, the couple had left, and they had left with their children. They just walked out and just kind of, I don't know, they just walked out of there. They didn't want to be there, and I was like, I hope that everything is okay. I hope we didn't disturb them or interrupt them while they were having their meal. And then our waitress came out and she said, hey, that couple that was just here, they paid for your food, all of it. I'm like, say what? They paid for our food? What is going on? And we're just singing again. Rejoice in the Lord. Oh, wait. It was amazing. This is the stuff that had happened throughout that period of time of August, when I showed up, to October when I had my encounter. And then the rest of the school semester from October to December, it was just constant, adventures with the Lord. There have been times where I was sitting beside the pool in the dormitories. We had our own pools at the time. And you know how they had the feet numbers? It would say like 5 feet, 3 feet, 8 feet. So one time the Lord was like, hey, here's a number for you. And the whole week I was getting this number 16. I'm like, what does 16 even mean? And so I was kind of like, okay, I'm not really thinking anything of it. But everywhere I went, there was always like 16. There would be 16 on a bulletin board. There'll be 16 when someone texted me, hey, I'll be over in 16 minutes. Like, who would say 16 minutes? Usually people say like 20, 30 minutes or whatnot. And so I'm like, okay, that's weird. And there'll be passages, I want you to go to John 3:16 or something like that. It always happened. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what does 16 mean? I went to the dormitories of the men's dormitories, and we had a pool, and the feet numbers were 5, 3, and 8. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. What is going on? Okay, Lord, what does 16 mean? And the biblical numerical number for 16 was love. And he was just showing me like, hey, I love you, even in the most craziest of ways. And this was happening all the time. So adventure after adventure after adventure, seeing demonic things, seeing crazy stuff happen. I never had that when growing up in San Diego, I didn't see any of this stuff at all. It was just an adventure for me. And so I took it back home when I went to Christmas break, and we started seeing revival on the streets, going to talk to people about Jesus, and talking to people, and even my family, God changing my family and what God's doing with that. We just saw miracles, signs, and wonders happening within my friendships, and people receiving the Lord, receiving the baptism of the Holy Spirit, and it was so awesome. So that was the first semester of my school year at CFNI, and so the second semester was just deepening my relationship with Him, and it was awesome, man. It was just an awesome time of intimacy with the Father, getting to know Him, being part of a lifestyle of prayer, intercession, and just deepening that foundation that I already had with Him. And not until my third semester, everything kind of changed, bits and pieces. In the middle of my semester, I was feeling apathetic. I was feeling kind of, lost and not knowing what to do, not knowing where I was going to go. I thought it was going to be worship, but then I started wanting to deviate to preaching, to teaching, to evangelism, and I just was lost in this hole. And I just kind of said, Lord, I want to give up. I just want to go back home. This is getting tiring. This is getting, so mundane and just mediocre. It just felt that way. And my roommate, it was during November of 2014, my roommate had said, hey man, the Lord wants you to finish what you started. And I was like, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, man. And that same night I was heading over to get some dinner at our cafeteria. So there was the dorms, and then there was the cafeteria across the street. So you had to use the crosswalk on the main street to get over. And it was about 7:30 at night, and I was heading to dinner late. I was just frustrated, and the Lord's like, I just want you to be around people. So I went to go to dinner and put some headphones on, listening to music, and then I was going over the crosswalk, pressed the button, and at this time, I'm heading over to dinner. I step out onto the street, and this car went 30 miles an hour, went through the red light and hit me, and my head went through the windshield. We crashed in the middle of the street. I flew 30 feet in the air, landed on my head,